Welcome to the Out There channel. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Note you have to click on the little bell symbol to get notifications of new video postings. In this episode we're going to talk about triangle UFOs. Are they man-made, alien, or both? Looking at Google Images, there's quite a few triangle UFOs listed here. So there's been quite a few sightings over the years of these craft. They seem like a new current design for the 21st century. Probably like we do with cars, we upgrade them and improve the technology. So they start off with the old bell-shaped UFOs, saucer-shaped UFOs, and now they're triangles. What do you think? Here's a photo of what looks like a model someone built for a demonstration based on the photos. According to this guy Fouché, the triangle UFOs that we are seeing in the skies are a military project, because he worked at Lockheed on the project, and says it uses some mercury plasma to generate a field that nullifies gravity around the craft and the people within it. So basically it changes its buoyancy, and inertia or speed changes don't impact the people that's inside the craft because the gravity is local within the field. The craft he called TR-3B. Now some claim that is a hoax, as you can read, and also that he's a liar because his documents don't add up. But on further investigation I found this site here where they requested the documents on him from the military, and they got the same sort of documents that look identical to his. So maybe he is genuine in what he says. Now he describes the propulsion system as follows: a circular plasma field accelerator ring called the magnetic field disruptor surrounds the rotatable crew compartment and is far ahead of any imaginable technology. The plasma, mercury based, is pressurized at 250 atmospheres at a temperature of 150 degrees Kelvin and accelerated to 50,000 RPM to create a superconductive plasma with the resulting gravity disruption. And now he goes on to talk about causes the effect of making the vehicle extremely light and able to outperform and maneuver any craft yet. My sources say the performance is limited only the stresses that the human pilots can endure, which is a lot really, considering along with the 89% reduction in mass, the G-forces are also reduced by 89%. The crew of the TR-3B should be able to comfortably take up to 40 Gs. Reduced by 89%, that occupants would fill about 4.2 Gs. Phew, that was a lot of reading there. Doesn't help if you got a blocked nose. So that last slide is actually from a documentary, a presentation called Case for Anti-Gravity. You can find that on my fan page if you want to watch that full documentary. Now, we don't know if the story is true because there's no hard facts to back up his story. It's only a load of personal experiences. Either way, it's quite an interesting story, and someday in the future we may find out. Never know. Also, where is the reverse technology from? Is it ET, alien, or captured Nazi technology? Now, the story leads back to World War II, at the end of it, when they seized a lot of the scientists and technology that the Germans were working on. Apparently, the Germans had captured a crashed UFO and were reverse engineering it during the war. Now, here is the Nazi general that was behind the research. These men are not Germans, but it's the only rough image I could get of Germans finding a crashed saucer that sort of matched. You may have heard about the Nazi bell before, and also the Gettysburg UFO crash which had the same sort of shape. Now these are just stories, there's no hard evidence to back them up. Now some have tried to debunk it because this structure here that they claim was used for tying the device onto as they're powering it up and launching it from it, is also used on cooling towers or water towers around the country that look similar in the design. That doesn't mean it's not actually a true story. They may have had a cooling tower, they may have had water supply, they may have had nuclear power device there, or some other power generation that needed cooling. We're not even sure if the Americans captured the technology and brought it back home, along with the scientist called the paperclip, or whether the Nazis escaped to South America, because there apparently are evidence of Nazi dwellings in the forests where they found artifacts of coins and badges and knives that support the theory that some had escaped there. There are also reports of UFOs exiting volcanoes and entering volcanoes, and also lakes down in South America and of course Central America, where there seems to be lots of activity there that you can almost aim a camera out the window and capture something in the skies. There was a show recently on TV called Treasure Quest Snake Island Season 2. Not sure if it was episode 5, 6 or 7, but the people come across a Nazi encampment in the middle of nowhere in the forest, which was quite interesting. Now, how is the Nazi Bell machine related to Triangle UFOs seen worldwide today? Well, reading this article here, the Nazi Bell device consisted of two counter-rotating cylindrical containers, which were positioned one above the other, measured approximately 1 meter in diameter, and were filled with frozen mercury metal. There was a frozen core of a metallic paste which served as a high material for the EMG, magnetic gravitational field. Sounds very similar to what we heard about the Triangle UFO called the TR-3B. So that brings us to the last section. Is there any scientific proof that this is real science and not just made up nonsense? Well, it's a bit hard to tell, but having a look at some of the posts on other blogs and whatnot, people seem to think there is a possibility that it's legit. And there's a link between magnets and gravity fields interacting. And also there has been a UFO crash where they had this purple-green liquid oozing out of the shell of the craft, and of course mercury plasma has that sort of colour as well apparently. Of course mercury is deadly poison to us. Even people handle it in science labs at school have to be very careful. So you ain't going to get too many people playing around with it. And in fact, I don't even know if you can buy it from the shops to play around with it in the first place. But I suppose if you're in a university or have access like that, then you probably have permission to use stuff like that. There are a couple of mercury experiments, vortex experiments on YouTube if you search for them. Also, I'll put a link to another presentation or a video YouTube clip where the guy goes into more detail on the science of it all, and I'll stick that in the description and possibly on my fan page, so look out for that and have a watch. Also, you may not have heard about the levitating frog experiment. Nobel Prize winner shows you here how the frog using magnets was lifted up, suspended probably a few inches. It's quite interesting. I didn't show the video because it's probably copyrighted, so I just took a screen print. You can search online on YouTube and find it and have a watch. It's quite interesting watch. Well, a couple of items to wrap up here. Here it talks about UFOs and volcanoes, and that some New Zealand geologists have found underground caverns or streams or molten of gold and possibly mercury. And also here in ancient ruins of South America is reports of underground city model that uses mercury as a river. So until next time, I hope you enjoyed what you watched, and see you again soon. Please subscribe to the channel. Goodbye.